Hey, what's going on, everyone? Habari Gani. This is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Habari Gani, everyone. Hopefully, you're doing well wherever you're watching from on this fourth. Is it fourth day? Yes, fourth day of Kwanzaa. As we're counting down just the different days in Kwanzaa. And so hopefully, again, you're doing well. Hopefully, you're warm over here on the West Coast. It has stopped raining for right now. I believe it's going to continue raining a little bit in a few days, but right now we got a small little break, and so we're appreciative of that. Just being able to go out and not have to worry about driving around on slick streets for a couple of days. So that's cool. So, again, welcome to the show, and hopefully you'll find some value in what we're going to present today. Again, today is Kwanzaa day number 4. And, let's go ahead and just kind of recap where we have been so far. The past couple of days, we've been engaged in the Kwanzaa celebration. So we started off with Umoja, which means unity. And so, how are you going to maintain and strive for unity in the family, in community, nation, and in the race? And then, let's see, let's go ahead and talk about the second day of Kwanzaa, which is my favorite word, Kuji Chagalia. So we got Kuji Chagalia, which is self-determination. Are you determined to get through whatever it is you're wanting to get through? And not only yourself, are you going to help others get to their particular destination? And then also says to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. So not just personally, but what are you going to do as a group of as a community to maintain that self-determination? And then on yesterday, we talked about Ujima. Ujima, which simply is, if I can get it right here, there we go. Ujima is collective work and responsibility, working together in the spirit of togetherness, right? Not just for yourself, but not being a silo to yourself, but working together to benefit the whole community. And as you see right there, to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems, and to solve them together. Now, I really apologize. I'm not too sure if you hear the chiming going on in the background, but that is the family chat that is blowing up right now. So I apologize for that. And then today we are going to focus on Ujamaa, which is, here we go, right here, Ujamaa. Cooperative economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses to profit from them together. And before we hop into that, let's go ahead and dig into some of the comments. I greeted everyone a few moments ago by just saying Habari Gani, which is something that we do every single day. And so we'll do that in a few moments again when we light the candle. And then Shanari Williams says, Happy Thursday. Enjoy your day. Absolutely. Shanari, my play niece up in the Yay area. Thank you for tuning in, and you enjoy your day as well. And that's me responding to Nari. Just glad that she's here. And let's see. Bishop Donald Oliver says, hey, blessings to you and yours. Hey, thank you, Bishop, for being here. I really appreciate you. Hopefully everything is going well on the east side of your town, of the nation in South Carolina, Orangeburg to be exact. And then my good friend Cecily Brooks says, Ujamaa. Absolutely. She knows what's going down, and I appreciate you for being here as well. And so, man, my family chat is just blowing up. Why? I don't know if you guys can hear the chimes, but it's, I might have to turn off some devices over here. But let's go ahead and light the candle for today for Ujamaa, and then we're going to hop into discussing a little bit about the principle of economics. So let's go ahead and get this candle lit. All right, so here we go. Cooperative economics. And so we have a couple of thoughts here. And again, I'm kind of using the text that the creator of Kwanzaa just trying to share some of his thoughts, Dr. Marlena Karenga. And if we go to a wide shot here, I'll just give you a glimpse of the book that I'm reading from, just some of the excerpts from the book here, The African American Holiday of Kwanzaa. This was written by Dr. Karenga. And so let's go ahead and Habari Gani, everyone. And as Cecily Brooks already put in the in the comment section, Ujamaa. And so let's go ahead, which is cooperative economics. And so I have several thoughts. And if you're watching live, feel free to jot some comments, some reflections down in the chat, and we can kind of talk about that as well. So here we go. Cooperative economics. And so he begins by saying the fourth principle is Ujamaa, cooperative economics. It is essentially a commitment to the practice of shared social wealth and the work necessary to achieve it. Man, that's saying something right there. It grows out of the fundamental communal concept that social wealth belongs to the masses of people who create it, and that no one should have such an unequal amount of wealth that it gives him or her the capacity to impose unequal, exploitative, or oppressive relations on others. Ooh, that's kind of deep right there, man. I mean, because now we live in such a commercial capitalism kind of society where everybody is trying to make that almighty dollar. And there's nothing wrong with making that almighty dollar. But, the point of it is, once you get it, what are you doing with it? Are you sharing it? Are you hoarding it? Are you keeping it to yourself? This principle here talks about a cooperative kind of economics, and it goes probably a little bit beyond than just patronizing some of our black businesses, which I know is a big thing. It goes a little bit deeper, because once you achieve a certain level of wealth, if I'm not mistaken, he's saying, it's okay to share. It's okay to share. Maybe share the knowledge and the wisdom in terms of how you acquired your wealth. And so not just keeping it to yourself, but to share it. And then he says, when you acquire, you don't want to impose unequal, exploitative, or oppressive relations on others. Man, don't use your money to the detriment of others. Do what you can to uplift your community, your family. A lot of times you see a lot of athletes when they, get their first or second check, maybe they've been in the league for a couple of months or whatever, and, they've, gotten some checks. And so what is one of the first thing that they do when they get their check? One of the first things, and I'll kind of wait for you if you're watching, what is one of the first things that some of the athletes do when they get their check? Now, I know some of you guys might say, oh, they're going to go out and buy jewelry or buy houses. What is the first thing that they do to kind of give back to their community? And I don't want to give too much of an answer, but I really want you to think about how these athletes, these stars, what do they do to thank their? I think Cicely right there. I think we vibing together. We right here, sis. We are right here. She says they buy their mom, they buy them a house, right? Or parents or whatever. First thing they do when they get a piece of money. And so that's kind of what we're talking about. Not just keeping all the money to themselves, buying big old stupid fat gold chains or whatever. No, one of the first things they do is to give back to their family, especially to their mom, to their parents. And I'm sure, if dad is around, he kind of benefits as well. But mom kind of gets the shine in this particular situation. And so, I just kind of dig this principle right here, this part of the principle, not to impose unequal, exploitative, or oppressive relations on each other. And then he goes on to say, sharing wealth is another form of communitarian exchange, sharing and cooperating in general, but it is essential because without the principle and practice of shared wealth, the social conditions for exploitation, oppression, and inequality, as well as deprivation and suffering, are increased. So basically, If you're not sharing what you have, then it's going to continue to allow folks to just dwell um, in some of the lower conditions that they're dwelling in, right? And so if you have the capacity to uplift someone, by all means, you want to do that, okay? And then let's go ahead and you guys can drop some comments as it relates to what we just kind of discussed. I'm here for the comments as well. It's not just about me giving out some of my favorite sayings from this particular section of the book, but we can make this interactive. And so again, I appreciate Cicely dropping in that information as well. So let's continue, and then we can circle back if there's some comments that pop up. Ujamaa also stresses self reliance in the building, strengthening, and controlling of the economics of our own community. Now, going back to building black businesses, that's a big thing, especially in the places where we shop, where we live. Give you an example. Now, yesterday, I don't know if you noticed. Yesterday, kind of got me a little haircut, right? But normally, I'll go to a place that's a little bit more commercialized. This is a place out here called Hammers and Nails, and it's kind of like a male grooming salon, right? All self service. They do the nails. They'll do the beard. They'll do the haircut. Kind of take care of the nails and feet and all that kind of good stuff. Hence the name Hammers and Nails. And so I've gone there a couple of times, but when I went there last time, I wasn't too pleased with the service that I got because they kind of jacked up my hairline a little bit. And so what I was really trying to do, even though I kind of like the pampering, right? I was I wanted something a little bit more upscale. However, when I went to my boy yesterday, and I'm not going to say my barber's name, when I went to him yesterday, I was just like, okay. Yesterday was probably the best haircut that he has given in the past couple of months, and so for me, that kind of restored my faith in him being able to deliver a particular service. No, it didn't have the towel service like I normally have. It didn't come with a shampoo job, right? But he did. He did what he normally does, and kind of this time went over and beyond. And his particular barbershop was in the community, right? And so the other one was kind of out, kind of in the suburbs a little bit. But, I'm pleased to, go back and support, my small black businesses. There's so many of our businesses that have gone under, especially during this COVID time. But, I was just so happy that I was like, okay, my dude, he did it. Because sometimes it's a hit or miss. My wife, my family, they'll tell you like, he kind of missed the spot right here. But yesterday, I think everyone was really, really pleased with just the outcome. And so supporting your black businesses, not just for or haircuts or nails or whatever, but for groceries, for different kinds of services, whether it be a tax service, whether it's, you going to a small boutique, right, to shop for clothes and things of that nature. It's definitely a way to continue to build our community if we're buying from our black businesses. And on the flip side, our black businesses have to know how to be a business, right? Not treat customers rude, but really, if you want business in your particular business of choice, then you want to make sure that you have good relations, that you understand the needs of the customer, you have a good supply and demand, and, you're just doing all that you can to kind of, build up the community instead of, just hiring folks who just want a job, right? You really want to find folks who are kind of vested into your goals in terms of what you want to do, your goods or service. And so it kind of works two ways. People want to spend their money. They have to spend their money. But at the same time, people have choices. And so, if you don't offer the choice that is going to benefit them in a way that is, going to benefit the community, then they might take their black dollar somewhere else, right? But yeah, we know that there's large corporations, companies, businesses like, let's say the neighborhood drugstore. That's kind of far and few in between. because now we have the big conglomerates, the CVS's, the Walgreens. They're able to supply all of the medication. They have the network of connecting with the doctors and things of that nature. And so those drug stores that we used to have way back when. Now we don't have those, but we have other businesses. We have businesses that food delivery services. And things of that nature. So yeah, so go ahead and support some Black dollars. And give me a thumbs up if you're kind of vibing with me right now, right? So let's just continue just a little bit more. Let's see where I was. We were talking about here. Let's go ahead and look at this last thought right here. Sometimes I get to go on a tangent. And I think we just want to close up with this one. Closely related to the concept of self-reliance and the responsibility, it requires the respect for the dignity and obligation of work. To respect work is to appreciate its value, reject its exploitation, and engage in it cooperatively for a common good of the community. And that's kind of along the same lines I was just talking about a few moments ago. You want to have an obligation to your customers. You want to have an obligation to support your black businesses, especially during the holiday season, right? People love food, and so go out to your to your small diners and shops and patronize them. Give them a little bit of your money as well, just as you're going to give some of the big businesses and corporations your money. Also, inherent in Ujamaa is the stress and obligation of generosity, especially to the poor and vulnerable. Let's see. One African thought is to be generous as long as you live. What goes into the storehouse should come out, for bread is made to be shared. And so, if you take that African principle right there, just don't keep all the bread to yourself. If you can, find a way to support some of those businesses that are in your community, and not only just in your community, man. There might be a family member or a friend who might be in need, and so if you have the means to share, share something, by all means, share. Just don't keep everything to yourself. Get out there and build and maintain our stores and shops. And so here's my question for today. My question for today is, how will you seek to maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses, and to profit from them together? Right? If you're a business, how can you give back to the community instead of just asking folks to participate in the purchasing of your good and service? Right? That's very, very important. So what will you do? And I'm kind of anxious to see, some of your responses. And so we'll just kind of keep it right here. And as you guys type your responses or kind of reflect on that, yesterday, my wife again told me, she's like, "Hey, you read that story. It's pretty cool, but your angle was a little bit different." So we'll have story time in a few moments, but we kind of did something a little bit different for her today. So hopefully you'll be kind of proud of the progress that we've made. But again, that's the unity that we share in this community. Again, if she didn't tell me, and if I wasn't receptive, if she told me something and I wasn't too receptive, then that's going to be me being in the silo. But because I am receptive and it's not just about me in my way, then we'll go ahead and make some space for her and take her suggestions and use it to the betterment of this particular presentation. And so I don't see any comments. Are you guys going to spend your money in the community? Are you going to help folks in need? How are you going to make this happen? And so we're having a little technical difficulties, but let's go ahead and fix this really, really quick, and we can finish out with our story. All righty. And we should be back. There we go. Okay. So again, just leave this question with you right now. How will you maintain your own stores, shops, and other businesses to profit from them? Are you going to go out and continue to do business business with the big corporations, or are you going to spend your money in some of the smaller shops, black businesses, and things of that nature that we find in our community? And if you own a shop, how are you going to give back to the people? Are you going to hire mean folks who just stand behind the counter and not really pleasant, or are you going to look for the tip top in your business, and make sure you have people who are staffed who are going to meet the needs of the people who come into your shop or your business? Okay. All right. Oh, Cicely, you are funny. She says, I plan on supporting uh, Mr. Riley's upcoming podcast. That is funny. Um, Maybe at the end I'll kind of share uh, what we've done so far, Cecily, with the podcast, and just trying to make sure we have some assets ready to go to make that happen. So let me just get that ready just in case, and let me put this right here. Okay, that's cool. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. That I appreciate that support. And then Shanari says, "This is awesome. I love this." Well, thank you, and we love you, Shanari. Hopefully, your mom, your sister, and the rest of your family up there in the Yay area are doing well. Okay, Cicely gives me a little smile. All right, so let's go ahead and continue reading our story. And I kind of like to just bring in this story. Now, I probably should have brought in another story as well. I could have read this story the first day, but again, it kind of lays down some of the principles. And so, if you have a young one in your life, you can definitely share this particular story with them. It's called Seven Candles for Kwanzaa. There we are, right here. Bam. There we go. So you can definitely, and this is one of the gifts. You can go to a black bookstore, or you can go to a major bookstore. I would say, based on what we've talked about today, would you go to the black bookstore first to look for the book, or would you go to a big conglomerate and look for the book? Just kind of got me thinking. Let me see. We have one comment here from Riley. Riley, now let's go ahead and see what she says. She says, I love supporting my friends, Royal Adornments, LM Duchess, go over here, and initially yours. But my favorite is Sir's Signature Creations. Absolutely. If you don't know, that's my oldest son. He bakes cheesecakes, and they are awesome. He made this one the other day, some kind of caramel Dutch cheesecake. We had the little bits of apple caramel cheesecake, and he had bits of apple inside of it. Oh my goodness, it was great. It was great, and I can't wait till he gets in business, because once he gets in business, it's gonna be all over. The small business shop with with the cheesecake or whatever else he serves with that. Hey, I'm just there for the cheesecakes, because he has about 10 flavors. There it is, caramel apple crumble cheesecake. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna have to put on some poundage, right? So he's gonna add to my weight loss. But no, his stuff is tremendous. It's tremendously awesome, and I love supporting my son and his business endeavors. And I can't wait to see what happens. 5-6 years from now, when he gets steady and figures out his business plan. All right, so let's go ahead and hop into story time. All right, so we're going to continue reading, and so. When we last left off, you like this scene? If you like this scene, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. When we last left off, we just finished reading the third day. And so let's go ahead and continue reading the fourth day of Kwanzaa, from Seven Candles for Kwanzaa by Andrea Davis Pinkney and Brian Pinkney. When the fourth day, you know what? Let's add a little sound in here. Hold on one second. Let's set the scene. Let's set the mood a little bit. Get my favorite sound. All righty. Bringing that Kwanzaa spirit. Hey. All right, here we go. When the fourth day of Kwanzaa dawns, it is time to celebrate Ujamaa, cooperative economics. For Ujamma, we save up our coins for one whole year to buy a family gift that everyone can share, like a clock that chimes or a hallway mirror. On Ujamaa Day, a red candle glows bright in the Kinara. Nia. Nia is purpose, the fifth Kwanzaa principle. Today, a second green candle glows to illuminate our purpose. This day of Kwanzaa is for reflecting on how to feel the days and years ahead. Some folks dream of life as an astronomer who peers at stars nestled in the dark sky nights, or a trumpet player who bebops in a swinging jazz band. Nia, our purpose, is to do what makes us glad to be who we are. Kuumba means creativity, and on the sixth day of Kwanzaa is for celebrating Kuumba in every way. Today we make up dances to perform for friends. Some dances tell stories about the history of people who live in Africa. Other dances are just for fun. Sculpting mounds of clay or reciting a favorite rhyme are also ways to express Kuumba. So is planting seedlings on the windowsill and nurturing them to sprout. The third red candle shimmers to help our creativity shine. And with that, guys, we are done with our Kwanzaa celebration. Now, I realize that I read some of the same pages that I read yesterday, and that's fine. I just wanted to show you that I kind of leveled up a little bit our story time. And so what I probably will do at some point this Kwanzaa season is I will read the whole story in its entirety. And that way, and I'll put it on my YouTube channel. And that way you can share with your other family, younger family, or family members who like Kwanzaa, who just like listening to, tall black guys read. So yes, I do have several stories on my channel called Mr. Riley Reads. And so my goal is to add more culturally relevant books and stories in what we call a story time kind of situation. And then the last comment here we have from Riley. She says, like our outdoor sets, never thought of it that way. Okay, I'm not too sure what you were referring to, Riley, but okay, I'm vibing with you, and then we can have a conversation about what you mean. If you have some time right now, just go ahead and tell me what you mean, and that way we can have a better understanding of the comment and all that kind of good stuff. Well, as she's doing that, I just want to appreciate everyone who hopped on. I see Patricia. I saw you earlier. She says, Happy Kwanzaa from Frank Bowman and Patricia Harris Bowman from California. Hey, thank you for watching. We really appreciate you hopping on and vibing with us today. And so have a wonderful fourth day of Kwanzaa. Go out and, participate in the economics that is our community, cooperative economics. Before you go out and spend to those big businesses, look for your local shops, the mom and pop shops and stores, and see how you can support them. I think that would be very, very beneficial. I'm sure those shops in the community would really appreciate your business, especially now. And so it's all good. And so again, we appreciate you hopping on. And if you want to support the channel, we are talking about cooperative economics. So here, let me go ahead and just drop this in. If you want to support the channel, looks like I'll be needing a camera really soon because it keeps going out. If you want to support the channel, go ahead and run over to buymeacoffee.com and / Mr. Riley's World and buy me a cup of coffee, 2, 3, 4 coffees. Matter of fact, when I finish here, I'm gonna probably have some iced coffee. So that'll be one way that you can support the channel. And everyone, again, I really appreciate you participating in today's conversation. Now, hopefully tomorrow, my goal is to really add someone who's creative. And so if you have a creative poem that you like to recite, I can bring you on, and we can kind of have a dialogue, have you make this a little bit more interactive instead of a talking head video. We can bring you on. So if you know a storyteller, if you know a poet, if you want to hop on and share a poem, and even if you want to come back on and talk about one of the principles that we've already covered in Kwanzaa. We have several more to go. If you want to hop on, just send me a note, send me a text message, or you can hit me up on my socials. On the last thank you screen, you'll see how I can be contacted, or just DM me. But yeah, you'll find out how it's very easy to get in touch with me. And then the last thing, since my friend talked about, let me go ahead. My good friend Cecily Brooks, she talked about I plan on supporting Mr. Riley's upcoming podcast. Now, I've done some work. I've done some leg work, and here's what I've done so far. So I've been kind of playing around in Canva, and let me see if I can share this with you really quick so that you can see that I'm making some inroads into, I think this is my shared screen. Let's see, here it is. Okay, yes. So Miss Brooks, I am working on some stuff in Canva. I had my son yesterday snap a photo of me, and I saw this mock-up, and I was like, okay. And then even in my Facebook group the other day, no one really responded. They just kind of looked at the video. I was asking for a title for my particular podcast, and so I just came up right now. The working title right now I'm using is the Riley World Experience. Me being an African-American man, early childhood special educator, a husband, a father, a son, a man of faith. It's so many things that I can discuss. So yeah, we've been working on some things. And then there's another graphic. Let me see if I can pull it up really quick, Cicely. So you've definitely put some thoughts in my mind about becoming a podcaster. Here's another graphic. Here's another graphic that I created as well. I'm not too sure which one I'm going to use, but just to your taking your suggestion, I'm not taking it lightly. I am thinking about how I can develop a podcast. And last thing I'll show you, I've already checked into a website called Buzzsprout. In terms of hosting a podcast. And so now I have to just record some, make some recordings, upload them, and then, share them. And, they'll be posted on some of the directories. And so we're kind of working about it, thinking through how we can make this a really viable option for, folks who want to hear what I have to say as an African-American early childhood special educator, father, husband, son, minister. We're trying to figure all that out. Okay. So, one of the things that they tell you in podcasting school is to niche down. So I have a lot of ideas. And so we'll figure this thing out. But, in the meantime, I appreciate you guys. Come back tomorrow around not the same time. I have a couple of appointments tomorrow. And so we'll figure it out. We'll post it, and just know that you'll be notified on my Facebook or my YouTube page, and just come hang out with me, and we'll cover the other principles of the Nguzo Saba. So again, thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll end with this. Habari Gani.